Now, people want to know about this whole Alannah's husband been contracted to teach me how to research. Okay, this is what happened. Um, I did some research notes about home workers. A lot of the world globally is run on supply chains where families work in the home. You know, usually the mum works, the children are around. A lot of electronics, actually, work which requires like close kind of, little itty bitty bits and pieces. It's funny, you'd be surprised, but electronics, it's not made in fact in like huge big sanitized factories at all. Everyone knows this, the supply chains, that there are some people putting components into little plastic box, and it's probably a mum with like 3 or 4 children with no lighting, complete fire hazard in like Vietnam somewhere. And there are, it's all very toxic. So you have this kind of huge swathe of home workers, and a lot of them are undocumented. We don't even know how many globally, how many people are like these families, kids get involved and they help. Maybe they become electronic engineers. Maybe they don't. Maybe they eat the electronics and they die. Who knows? We don't know. It's the kind of like a black market of subcontractors to get the cheapest parts out. And it's such a problem that a lot of supply chains have been, completely bought in. They're completely owned by the companies. This is across all supply chains, from food to fashion. It's become vertically integrated. This is one of the issues if you've ever worked in any kind of operational system. Amazon must know this very, very well. For instance, that even though they're on one logistics part, they must know a lot of stuff probably gets done at home. They have, all these couriers everywhere. They're probably organizing boxes at home or something. It happens. Maybe that's why they go missing. Maybe it's whatever. I don't know. And so I did some research on this. People were asking about it. It's a big part of fashion as well, particularly embroidery. Anything which requires little teeny little hands, probably have little teeny hands doing it at home somewhere, which is actually better for them than in the factory. Or maybe not, because it might be an abusive home. And I was not a researcher for Made By, but we would sometimes do little reports and stuff for clients and the rest of the team, especially if it was something we were interested in. And, it took me half a day or whatever to do. Just looked online. I couldn't verify it, but stuff online was a lot more accurate back in the day. I looked at some academic papers. And we had an academic guy, Edwin Costa, actually on the team, who did a lot of stuff on fair wages or living wage and all of that. How do we calculate it? But he did everything. He's one of the world leaders in sustainability and fair trade, all of these things. He's an amazing guy. You can ask him. You give him a shout and ask him what I contributed to the team, what I was like to work with. If I was the main researcher or not. Obviously I wasn't. There were other scientists and researchers like Charlene. Anyway, so I did that. And then Edwin, and I did some other bits and pieces, I can't remember. And we would also have to write little blurbs and stuff. And obviously I write a lot. It's really funny. People downstairs are having noises. I know I'm talking about professional stuff. You can hear them. It's trashy. And then what happened was it's so off-putting, isn't it? God, it really puts you off doing any work at all. Anyway, and then so I did that, and Edwin and other people said, "Oh, Bush has done a great job," blah blah blah. And it really pissed Allanah off. It was a very big thing that I had a fashion degree for a start. This was a really big deal. She mentioned it many times to me and other people, how, how it was really annoying or something like that. Because she didn't have any fashion, ability, or she's not creative in one bit, as we all know. And then I could do all this analytical stuff as well. And then just to add, I went down to 3 days a week. People stopped turning up to the office in the days that I wasn't there. Because obviously I'm lots of fun and clever, and I'm a hoot. I'm an absolute hoot. I love asking questions. Young people always attach themselves to me because I'm so funny. I make a lot of jokes. I wear funky clothes. I'm into like movies and music. I never... it's like they've got an older sister or a kind of cool aunt in the room, and they like that. They don't want to be with some stupid bitch boss. I'm the boss of like 3 people. Ooh. Anyway, so all that stuff was going on with the compliments about my research, and then a project came through researching something for LVMH. And I could have done it. Of course, I could have done it. And she automatically got a random person to do it. It was a very short project. It was only a few weeks. I could have easily done it, but she didn't want me to do it. I bet LVMH specifically asked me to do it through Made By, because they probably said, yeah, Bushra's been to all the ethical trading initiative courses, met a bunch of people there. I've done workshops there. I dealt with a lot of... senior sustainability and fashion people actually across all of the companies. That's how I know Jose, who's head of CSR at Harrods, for instance. And also, I just did as many training courses I could. I did one on leather as well, leather traceability, which is really unusual. To this day, people question a lot about. It's an area of massive debate. Should we use real leather? Should we not use real leather? What's green? What's not green? Is one thing more sustainable? Is it a byproduct? What would happen to the real leather if we didn't use it? What lasts longer? And fur as well. It's very difficult to calculate. It does depend on where you get what from, but we know that leather pretty much lasts forever. In a good way, because you can, it looks good, you can still use it properly. It's comfortable, it molds to your body, it gets a patina usually. It's it's not an easy kind of, we shouldn't use leather. Well, do you eat meat? Because most people do. And it's a byproduct. What are you going to do with it? You're going to set fire to it. Why don't you just use it? So there's this whole thing about, this LVMH research project came in only a few weeks, 6 weeks, something. And she automatically found someone random and gave it to that person. And I was like, I don't care. And then she brought her husband in, who had lost his job actually, and said he's going to teach you how to research. And I was like, what? Like literally, the Dutch team were like, what is she doing? We're complimenting. I had emails complimenting me on my research report, but it wasn't that. I'm just very good at analytical, written, work. I'm very good at it. I'd come top of my year in, my thesis and it was a marketing thesis on my course, for instance. I obviously have written a lot over the years. I've been published actually in magazines as well as a published writer. It's something that I've just done a lot of. My uncle's bloody world famous writer. It's like we write in our family. It's what we do. I've got 130,000 readers for my travel blogs with absolutely no PR. Just a reality. She actually she didn't, with these charities, you're supposed to, anytime you employ someone for anything, you're supposed to, or community interest groups, you're supposed to get 3 people and at least interview people and put it out as a proper job spec and things like that. No, she just brought him in straight away. She just brought him in, just siphoning off money. She did other things as well. I think she started to pay for a very expensive MBA. She didn't finish it. I think she couldn't do it. I think she was too stupid. She went on and on about, because she did one lecture at Oxford, and she said, oh, that makes me Oxford, Harvard, all of this. I actually thought, you went to De Montfort University. Like, it's literally, it's like for dumbos. It really is. I think even they would say that. We're like, really, like, who would do that? Who would do that unless they're completely unacademic? Completely unacademic. She's probably got ADHD. And, you know, all of these things. I don't even know what her degree was. Sports marketing, sports media. What a crappy degree. Like, literally. So it's all of this kind of weird, sort of very strange behavior. Most people will not work with her. You probably already know that from the industry. They have nothing good to say about her, and no one will work with her. It's very bizarre. It's very bizarre. People just wanted to deal with me. That really upset her. You know, partly maybe they were like, so few brown people, they're in fair trade or sustainability. They want to deal with, you know, the brown face. It makes it's better. It's for optics alone. For optics alone in sustainability, a lot of companies just want to deal with a senior person with a brown face. Literally, they want to do that, especially when you have an accent like mine. It's, you know, it's a racist system, isn't it? And a lot of the time, CSR is purely optics. And then if you have a sea of white people, and then you have a brown person, they're like, we want you to be the head. We want to deal with you only, and we don't want these white people because we've already got a bunch of those. And this is a way to change the ratio in our whole company. And this is how it works. This is the process, and this is the culture of charity, sustainability, fair trade, you know, anything to do with green energy as well. If they can find an articulate brown woman, it takes a lot of boxes. They don't have to then do it in other parts of their company. And this is how it works.